On June 24, 2025, the world watched as President Trump announced a ceasefire between Iran and Israel after 12 days of escalating conflict. The ceasefire was set to begin at midnight EST, but hope quickly faded as new Iranian missile barrages struck Israel just hours later. Confusion reigned. Was peace real, or had it collapsed before it began? Iran's foreign minister insisted attacks would continue until Israel halted its airstrikes, pushing the standoff to the brink. The so-called 12-day war began with an Israeli strike on Iran, aimed at stopping a perceived nuclear threat. Iran retaliated with relentless missile and drone attacks, triggering a cycle of violence. Now, the world waited anxiously, uncertain if diplomacy could halt the spiral. The fragile truce hung by a thread, with both sides testing its limits. The region teetered between hope and chaos, as civilians braced for what might come next. The latest Iranian missile strikes shattered any sense of safety in Israel, killing 3 and injuring 8. A residential building in southern Israel was devastated, its facade blown away, a stark symbol of the war's reach. For 12 days, Israelis have lived in fear, rushing to bomb shelters as sirens wail and missiles streak overhead. Daily routines have vanished, replaced by anxiety and uncertainty. Parents comfort children in shelters, trying to mask their own fear. Foreign governments scrambled to evacuate their citizens, underscoring the danger. The psychological toll is immense, with every Israeli, young and old, caught in the crossfire. The world watches as ordinary lives are upended by a conflict far beyond their control. The ceasefire was the result of intense U.S. diplomacy, with President Trump and top officials negotiating directly with Israel and Iran. American airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites and Qatari mediation were key to bringing both sides to the table. The stakes rose when Iran fired missiles at a U.S. base in Qatar, narrowly avoiding casualties and escalating tensions. Trump claimed Iran gave advance warning, a move to keep talks alive. U.S. leaders hailed the ceasefire as a diplomatic victory, hoping it would reset the region's balance. The UN pushed for lasting peace, but the Security Council remained divided. Russia, China, and Pakistan condemned U.S. actions, complicating consensus. The fragile agreement exposed deep geopolitical rifts, making peace elusive. The world held its breath, hoping diplomacy would prevail over war. The conflict's shockwaves rattled global markets, with fears Iran might close the Strait of Hormuz and disrupt oil supplies. President Trump urged oil producers to boost output, trying to calm price spikes. Air travel was thrown into chaos as Qatar and Iraq closed their airspace, stranding passengers and rerouting flights. An El Al flight circled for hours, waiting for a safe landing amid missile attacks. Iran's strike on a U.S. base in Qatar drew condemnation from Arab nations, who warned of regional instability. The Arab League and neighboring countries called for calm, fearing the conflict could spread. Meanwhile, global powers clashed at the UN over who was to blame and how to move forward. The world's divisions deepened, leaving the Middle East's future uncertain.